This Sunday morning, we're going to hear from the Gospel of John a story about Nathanael and Philip. It's a continuation of when Jesus was walking by John the Baptist after Jesus has been baptized, and two of John the Baptist's followers are with him, Andrew and Simon. And John tells them who Jesus is as he walks by. So Andrew and Simon begin to follow Jesus. And they say they want to be with him and to follow him, to learn from him. So Jesus says, okay. But then Jesus changes Simon's name to Peter, or Cephas. So you get Andrew and Peter, brothers. The next day, Jesus decides to go to Galilee. And there he comes across Philip. And he says to Philip, follow me. But Philip first goes, and he comes across Nathanael sitting by a tree. And he tells Nathanael about who he saw, who he's met, who he's found. The Son of God, the Messiah, the one that was prophesied. He says he's the son of Joseph from Nazareth. And Nathanael looks at Philip and says, can anything good come from Nazareth? And that's the focus in this little video, and then on Sunday morning in our service as well. You can tell my voice isn't quite right. I'm a little under the weather, but I wanted to do this video as a response to what we heard the leader of our country, President Trump, say about people from different places. And as a Christian, as a Lutheran, I believe that God's created all of God's creation, and that there are no places that are holes of excrement. There are no people who can be broadly brushed with the idea that they're no good because they don't have some wealthy education, or they're from a country that isn't as fancy or nice as others. Instead, I'm here to communicate the gospel of Jesus, the good news of God, that we are all loved, that God loves all of God's creation, and that the good news of Jesus Christ, that Jesus came into this world to save the world, is for all people and not just a select few. Can anything good come from Nazareth? We hear from Nathanael. Can anything good come from the countries of Africa or Haiti or other places that were mentioned? Yes, it can. Because there's nobody that God cannot use to be a priest of God, to be a representative of God, to share God's love with others, to bring God's work and kingdom into this world. We see this in Jesus himself, born of Joseph and Mary, born homeless, born poor, born as their own refugees as they had to escape to Egypt to get away from persecution. And then we see from Nathanael the idea that anything from Nazareth was no good. And so this message is that it doesn't matter where you're from, or your culture, or your ethnicity, or whom you love, or how you identify. No, this is about the good news of Jesus breaking into this world so that we all can grow together in relationship. And that our relationship with God will be made right. Not because of anything what we've done, but because of the grace of God and what Jesus has done for us, giving himself on the cross so that the world might be saved through him. So I invite you to come on Sunday. I'll preach briefly on this message as we have other things going on, but I wanted to get this video out there to add another voice, that no matter where you're from, you are valuable. No matter what your socioeconomic status is, you're valuable. And that we all should celebrate God's diversity, because all of it can teach one another more about who God is, how God creates, and how we experience God in so many different ways. So yes, something good came out of Nazareth, just like something good comes from people all around this world. So I invite you Sunday morning at 9:30 for worship. We have breakfast between 8:15 and 9:15. And then we'll have a chance for faith formation, to study, to grow, to talk and learn from each other following that. God's peace be with you. You are beloved by God.